Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, Chip? What's going on, everybody out there in the On the Chain community? You know who you are. You know that guilty pleasure. Tuning in 3 days a week, listening to On the Chain, talking blockchain, crypto, XRP, and geopolitics. It's all a lot of fun. Chip, today we're going to dive headfirst into the shallow end, as you like to say.
Yeah.
For maximum
impact.
That's right. Banks, XRP, crypto mass adoption, and political chaos. Why is it political chaos? Well, there happen to be a lot of leftist politicians that can't even form a coherent sentence. So while XRP and crypto gear up for mass adoption, those guys, I don't know. We'll find out. We're going to workshop that and a lot more. We're going to dig in. You ready to kick this thing off?
I'm ready. Let's go. Hey,
All
hey,
right.
hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Gotta do the hey, hey one. We haven't heard hey, hey in a while. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey.
Welcome, everybody. Starting on time. What's going on? Hey, y'all. South Carolina. Hey, y'all.
Give
Hey,
a quick
Jeff.
shout out where you're tuning in from.
Yeah, where is everybody? We started on time. What's going on? Where is everybody?
Where's Ding Dong Daddy?
Ding Dong Daddy. Hello, Gentle persons. Gentle persons. I love it. OTC in the house. Show a mofo.
Brian tuning in from Ireland. Nice.
Ireland. Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? Jameson and ginger, baby.
Jameson and Guinness.
And a pint of Guinness will do me well. I'm getting excited now. Washington State. Nice. Look at everybody's popping in here. Look at that. Southeast PA, Pennsylvania.
Miami.
From Onega. Every time it hangs me up, man. Hangs me up. By the way, Casey had a phenomenal draft. A very good draft. Bills had a pretty good one, too. It was a really fun watch that draft this week. In Saratoga, New York. Saratoga. We got Miami in the house.
There you go. Miami.
Neighbors XRP. GW. What about GW?
Celebration.
Celebrate. Good times. Come on, guys. You know how to type the Yeti. No one typed the Yeti in yet? YETI.
Not even one Yeti.
Not even one Yeti. Come on, guys. Type the Yeti. YETI for a chance to win
a Yeti.
A really cool one today.
These are some of my favorites too.
New banging song for you guys too.
We do.
Chad Nauseum. He's back to Chad Nauseum. He's changed his name back. Got Palm Bay in the house. We got here come the Yetis rolling in. There they are.
There you go.
Right. There you see.
I don't know what happened to them.
Tetris.
They got lost.
Lost on me. I don't know what that Tetris means, but
there he is, right there. That is his name is Frosty. Frosty. See that?
Frosty, the Yeti.
Frosty
was a very fun.
He's a pathfinder. Look how cute and cuddly.
That's not the one we can't give away, Jeff. I don't want to get. That's not the one.
That's not it.
Please, okay.
One.
I don't want to go through that again. My God, that was a little bit of an ordeal, as they say.
There we go.
Spell check get you every time, man. I hate that. Oh, look, look at us taunting us, Jeff. Brian McCarthy said he just had his fill of Guinness. Oh, good for you, man.
I need a fill of Guinness.
Now it's time for a Jameson. Jameson and gingers are the best over there, dude. I don't know if you.
Yeah,
they really are the best.
I don't like mixing things too much unless it's Jameson and Guinness. They go real well together. It's kind of like espresso and red wine.
No, but the Jameson
together.
And Ireland's very different from anywhere else in the world. It's the best, no doubt.
Everything tastes different over there. Guinness tastes different.
Of course.
Jameson tastes different.
It's better. It's always better. Yeah, when you go to hometown, it's always going to be better.
Especially when it's on draft. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course. What do we got here? Let's see. Where am I? I'm just trying to.
What are we starting with tonight?
I think we're going to start with this some of the news that's coming up in Congress here.
Guinness with a Jameson chaser. It is perfection. As you're sipping, they just the flavor. It's amazing. Good flavors. They combine nicely together.
Yeah.
There we go.
Ellie Turner put this out. She said the chair of the financial committee, which is French Hill, said, told Crypto America, that's her new gig, Ellie Tarrant over there, that the House spent a good part of Easter break working on seeking technical assistance from the industry. Now, this is a new development in itself. You remember they used to try to do it alone. Now, they're reaching out to industry people to kind of get some perspective, which is a great thing. So we're seeking technical assistance from the industry, SEC, and the CFTC for an updated draft of the FIT21 market structure bill. And so they're making some changes. They've been redlining this bill. I mean, remember when they put the bill forward and it passed the House, I want to say last July, August. It was almost a year ago, but it just sat in the Senate, right, for a long time. So it did pass, but again, now they're marking it up. We got a pro-crypto Congress and a pro-crypto president. So a lot of things have changed.
Yeah.
And so French Hill said the discussion drafted a new legislation and a hearing on the text will coming in the next short weeks. So let's stay tuned. And then boom, right on the heel of that, there it is. The new hearing date is set. So the Joint House Financial Services Subcommittee on Digital Assets, Financial Technology, Artificial Intelligence, House Agriculture, Subcommittee on Commodity Markets, Digital Assets, Rural Development, hearing entitled American Innovation and the Future of Digital Assets, a Blueprint for the 21st Century. Geez, I love the sound of that. And that's going to be coming up on Tuesday, May 6th, which is next week. Can we believe May's here already? So that's going to be something of interest there. Let's see what happens. Hopefully they just get this going because we need to move the FIT21 through because that is a lot of great regulation in that already. And they're probably making some other markups in that. And Brian Quinteros was tapped from what I saw to run the CFTC. And he was a commissioner over there. And he's also very outspoken and massively pro-crypto. And that's going to be a legislative body that's going to be responsible largely for regulating crypto. And the SEC is going to do this, right? Now, the funny thing is, depending on how they update the FIT21, they could put some new things in there that could totally take the SEC totally out, right? The only part they would control is the security of it when you're talking about institutional sales.
Right.
Very slim part. But if they change the legislation or they go back and they update 33, 34 laws that have been on the books forever, there's a chance that it could only be the CFTC. We'll have to stay tuned and see how that goes. It'll be pretty.
I think, Chip, it's a positive, seeing how they're going to, negotiate out or debate out whatever they have to do, figure out who has the proper regulatory authority. Is it going to be the SEC or is it the CFTC? Is it a commodity? Is it a currency, or is it a security? And I think the court case who just brought up Visual Vendetta was saying, can someone tell me if the SEC XRP case is over or not over?
It's been over.
That part of it has been over. Anything to do with Ripple, there's still a possibility. There's some continuance to that, but I thought that was moving into some sort of an outcome as well. But that takes time to unravel. And you think about all of the damage that the previous administration has done in this space and what it's going to take to pull all the different elements that have been damaged or harmed due to the lawfare from a political perspective, and also then, everything they've done to undermine or slow down everything that has transpired within the crypto space. They took such a nuclear approach to crypto as they unleashed Gensler against it. You think about look at the companies that fell that could have been participating at this moment, like Jeremy Kauffman, and everything that he was building over there, which had turned into Odyssey and the video platform. And just think if the SEC didn't go in and crush them. Now, imagine if Ripple didn't have the deep pockets that they had to be able to afford a lengthy, drawn out 3-4 year lawsuit, $150-200 million in outpouring of legal expense due to the defense, and taking that lead role. They could have just folded, and that could have been the end of crypto. If they would have taken down Ripple, that would have literally had a ripple effect in the entire industry in the US. What are your thoughts? I think you're muted. or at least silenced.
Yeah, I had a silence there. I had a cough there before. Yeah, I was gonna say the ripple effect, Jeff. No, you did not. Yes, you did. So the funny thing is, I want to talk about this because there seems to be an awful lot of confusion around this.
Yeah.
The SEC XRP ended on July 13th, 2023, when Judge Torres said XRP is not a security. Done. It's over. Now, Ripple, let me explain this to everybody because it seems like there's some confusion. Ripple is a centralized company that is funded by private people. It's not a public company, the $300 million of private funding. And the digital token, XRP, is decentralized. XRP is not a security. It's done. Now, whatever Ripple has going on with the SEC is also coming to a close because it's just the formality of paperwork at this point because they already met, they already sort of agreed to everything, and they got back money, I think $75 million or something like that. So the fine was only $50 million, plus they get back the interest. So it was in an interest-bearing account and an escrow account. So I don't know. I still don't understand what people are hung up. I always say people have a hard time understanding the difference between XRP and Ripple. Ripple's a private centralized company, but has nothing to do with XRP. So I don't know why people get mixed up with that. And they're like, when's the case going to be over? When's the case going to be over? Listen, guys, somebody else here, my buddy XRP Highlander right here. I think he meant the other way around, regulation before price. So once regulation comes in, then the price. We don't care about what goes on with Ripple. That's been done. In theory, it's just a matter of the formality of just signing the paperwork. We have a new SEC commissioner who, in his acceptance speech when he was sworn in, said one of his goals, aside from their 3 tenets of capital formation, protecting investors, all that, was to actually make sure that innovation and crypto is going to be a major priority for the SEC. So we got no worries there. But I do think regulation is the hang up. When regulation comes in, if they get this FIT 21 passed, we're going to see a lot happen because now the gloves are off and there's no more worry about that. We've got 2 other stories here where the Fed last week, they came out and said that, hey, banks can go ahead. They're not going to have any restrictions on banks because that was another shakedown with the Federal Reserve was really having a big deal to do with the banks. And then also to the OCC, the comptroller's office. And if you remember, that was Brian Brooks during the Trump administration that came out and said banks can custody crypto. They were very tentative about it because here comes Biden, and then boom, yanked the rug out from underneath it. So now we're back to the OCC, and we've got some videos we can play on that. But I think this is it right here. I think the regulation is what really changes everything. So you go. There's Dre, Dr. Dre, yo, Chip, and Jeff. What's going on? Good morning, Yeti crew. Good morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Happy Monday morning. It is still Sunday here. Got this one here. FinTech crypto originally was designed to move away from banks and the government, yet y'all still yearning for regulation, for fuck's sake. Well, here's the deal, man. The only reason no one ever went after Bitcoin, because there's nobody to go after. That's the only reason. But the only digital asset in the United States that has clarity is XRP. It's the only one that's legal at this point. You could assume that Bitcoin is, but now you're talking about Bitcoiners wanted chaos, but who was screaming and happy about the banks being able to custody crypto? Who's happy about the strategic reserve in the government? Bitcoiners. Okay. So when you think about it, all the people, they wanted anarchy and they wanted Bitcoin. And this was the big narrative that everybody's yelling, but there's no anarchy, man. There has to be some kind of a semblance of some basic rules set up. And people want to know, and if you're a company and you're trying to participate in the space, you got to know where the lines are so you can kind of stay within them, what the legal boundaries are. So that's really what it comes down to. So it's not, no one's yearning for regulation. It's even when Brad Garlinghouse said, no, we just want to know what the rules are. There are no rules. You got the SEC interpreting stuff from the Howey test back in 1946, 47, and you've got the 33 and 34. I mean, 33, 34, that's almost 100 years ago. So we're getting to a point where that doesn't really matter anymore. It pumps our bags, doesn't move, and the Fed and the government controlling our money. That's right. Well, if you really see the moves that Trump's making, you can see that the Federal Reserve is a little bit nervous, as a lot of people are nervous. And the reason they're nervous about these tariffs is because the amount of actual impact it can have on the United States economy. So Trump's talking about if he can get enough money through tariffs, people making under $150,000 don't pay income tax anymore. Why doesn't every leader fight for lower taxes for their citizens? And now you have somebody whose goal, will he achieve it? Yet it remains to be seen. However, if he's successful, how do you think that's going to land on people when they keep every dollar they make? Are they going to be crying about tariffs? Ooh, tariffs. And when you see what these other countries, we got a great clip to play with Kevin O'Leary when he kind of rolls through it with the CNN host and schools her. But it wasn't, I mean, we couldn't sell anything in there because it's over 100% tariff. So you're going to pay double for something? No, it's not going to happen. So resetting and the Federal Reserve too is going to get audited. There's already bills that are being drafted and ready to go. It's going to be audited. If you don't, let's think about government here for a second, Jeff. Do we trust everything the government does? Do you think that there's no fraud in the Federal Reserve? They've been operating unchecked, unbalanced for over 100 years, since what, 1913. You just think that they're on the up and up, and I'm sure they're not doing anything weird. If they can press a button and create and print money, and everything we saw with USAID, you don't think that they just press a button and they're giving money and they're fueling all kinds of stuff and spending money everywhere? How do we know? No one's ever seen it. No one knows where the payments go. So if there's fraud involved, that changes everything, doesn't it? So Federal Reserve's going away. That's the real, you can't have a golden age with a Federal Reserve with a debt-ridden system where you borrow a dollar and you got to borrow the second dollar to help pay the interest on the first dollar. It doesn't end well. So there you go. Anyway, there's my tirade for today.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. You have a lot of moving pieces with all of this. What happens after they take down the Federal Reserve? How does that become a stability factor for the U.S. economy? And do we then step into another form of Fed Reserve? And this is where I don't see Ripple or another currency like XRP. I don't see those being the next step. I know that this administration has talked about a basket of currencies in a strategic reserve, and I believe the holdings are going to be Bitcoin, XRP, and others. They'll have a high holding of those from a global perspective, as people and other countries and even large corporations are starting to put Bitcoin into their treasury. And we're going to see it with other assets. MicroStrategy is no longer alone in this initiative. And it's not just about Bitcoin. So it's going to be the recognizable players, the big movers. We could look forward 5 years from now, and this whole makeup of treasuries are going to be drastically different. But there has to be a next step. And we're trying to shed. This is the whole thing. If you look at the way the government structure is now and where we're going, we're streamlining. We're getting rid of, all these, fat agencies that have been dragging us down for all these years and have been operating outside and under like a kind of a cloak of darkness. And they operate outside of observation. There is no clarity. There is no direct observation that you had mentioned of what they do. And if the Federal Reserve wants to, we don't even know who the parties are necessarily that are operating this agency. And so if we don't know that, then, how does this then benefit the longevity of this country, especially where we're at right now? We know we need to take that step back. We know we have to take a major step forward. And we're going through a consolidation period right now as the Trump administration is going after all these countries with tariffs. We put all these countries on notice, and we can see exactly how China is responding. They're now going through, they're battling this out. China's imposing 125% tariffs on us. We have 145% tariffs on them. Where does this end? To date, the Chinese, China doesn't import a massive amount of our goods, and they actually have over the years have made it extremely difficult to import U.S. made product, U.S. vehicles, and things like that. as we've seen other countries do the same thing, like in Brazil and elsewhere, they make it extremely difficult to do business in those countries as they protect their indigenously manufactured product, and rightfully so. Let them make their own product. That's the point. But don't expect, you to dump your products in our country and, not have that kind of, you have to have a win-win beneficial relationship on all sides. So this is the direction that we're moving in, and we'll see where it all pans out. Chip, it's it's interesting as it gets fought out in the media. Correct.
Hang on a sec. 1 second, dude. I got my phone blowing up in my ear here. Hang on a second.
The RLUSD. So that's another interesting one that GW is bringing up with the RLUSD, and we've seen now what Ripple is doing as they move forward with this stable coin. And there's a lot of things that are being orchestrated right now to help simplify the adoption of the stable coin. Other countries, we're still seeing that they're talking about digital versions of their currency based on the central bank. So we're still seeing that migration. But here, at least there's a conversation over normalcy and regulatory clarity and a path for stablecoin. Ripple has made a massive move for their business anyways. Obviously, based in and around the XRPL, having a stable asset from a strategic money movement perspective for their product made a lot of sense. And man, it'll be interesting to see how the pace at which banks and financial institutions start adopting the Ripple platform based on the integration of the RLUSD, and how that dynamic shift, changes over the next, I would say we'll probably see, over the next 12 months. Then what kind of an impact does that utility have on XRP as they're moving RLUSD? They are burning XRP, but it's such a
minuscule.
It's a minuscule amount,
So next to nothing.
I like that, the gold standard tokenized. That I think we're going to see a lot of move towards tokenization. What are your thoughts, Chip?
Reborn John said, "Hopefully, I didn't miss the Jeff rant." No, but you did miss my rant. Sorry, you missed mine. That's one of his favorite parts of the show, the Jeff rant. Don't worry, the Jeff rant's going to get cranked up. I want to play 2 videos. The Fed Reserve, the Fed kind of like relenting on the banks, and also the OCC.
Welcome back to Squawk Box this morning. Banking regulators pulling back some U.S. cryptocurrency guidance. This is interesting, guys, because the Fed said it was withdrawing supervisory letters that said that banks should seek advance approval from authorities before engaging in crypto asset and stablecoin activities. In addition, the Fed, the FDIC, and the Office of the Controllers of the Currency pulled back statements from 2023 that urged banks to be careful when it comes to crypto-related risks.
Jeff, why do you think they did this? Why do you think they pulled this back? I'll tell you why. Trump.
I was going to, yeah.
That's the only, I mean, Trump, Congress, right? Pro-crypto.
It's amazing. It's amazing the direction we're moving in right now.
Yeah, and this guy can't believe it too. And, he kind of leans to the left. He's always getting in arguments on CNBC. But here he is. He's shocked because he thought the crypto bros thought they would take a turn, and they never did.
During the 2024 campaign for the White House, President Trump promised crypto investors that he would have their backs if he was reelected. In a statement announcing the latest changes, the Fed said that regulators would look into whether new guidance to support crypto asset innovation was appropriate. But it means effectively that I think a lot of those letters has scared the banking system sort of out of getting meaningfully involved in crypto. And now they're saying, do what you like.
Here's the question. I mean, because it's the Fed doing that, it's not like an executive order where it's going to get whipsawed if another administration comes in 4 years, I would assume. But again, the politicization of it probably has some a little concerned about whether the winds would change again at some point. I guess maybe it's better because it's coming from the Fed.
Well, I think part of it's coming from the Fed, and it sounded like part of it was coming from
the administration. That's what I don't understand. This was part of the campaign promises to do these things. again, businesses just don't like getting whipsawed by changes in administrations that lead to huge changes in policy.
Right, because one's the enemy of the people and one of them's for the people. Right. Well said there, darling.
I don't know if this means that all of a sudden you're going to go to your local, Chase on the corner and be taking Bitcoin. But you can't take Bitcoin.
That's exactly what it means, dude. I don't think it. Of course, that's exactly what it means. Citibank already announced that you'll be able to buy Bitcoin directly through the bank. This is great, Jeff. We've been talking about this for years, right? We saw that happen. Nothing. It really never took shape in the first Trump administration. It was like towards the end.
Yep.
The key to mass adoption. Not your keys, not your crypto. Put that conversation aside for a second. You can't expect people to go to this exchange, buy it there, send it over here, scan the code, go over there, then put it on a thumb drive. It's too complicated for most people. Okay. People are used to buying stocks. They press a button, they bought the stock. They want to press a button at their bank. They want to be able to have the bank custody it for them and not have to worry about it. And they want to call somebody if something doesn't work right. That's what they want, right? This is the way to mass adoption. The OGs, people in the space like us, yeah, that's a whole different story. But you can't expect the newbies. I can't tell you how many people I try to onboard and are like, oh, how do I put it on the keys on the thumb drive, and how do I? It's just so complicated, man, to try to explain it to them. And I'm like, I don't want to be responsible. But these two, he's like, oh, I don't think that means you can go to your bank. Well, dude, pay attention to what Citibank just did. Well, Carmine, I expect big things this year, guys. XRP is going to blow up, and don't discount XDC. Dude, XDC.
That's right. I can't discount XDC at all.
I'm a big fan of XDC, especially I was able to buy it sub penny. And it's what, 7 cents, 8 cents now? The high was 19 cents on XDC. XDC has got so many, we probably don't talk about it enough here, Jeff.
We need to talk about it. We do need to talk about it more.
They've got so many great things happening on a daily basis. Zinfin, it's fantastic. Let's listen to the rest of this.
I guess it does feel very different. It does feel very different in that crypto is becoming much more widely accepted, and maybe if they can get more regulation that kind of cements that, maybe it would make the banks feel a little better about it.
I mean, look, we used to interview Janet Yellen, and she would always talk to you about the risks of it.
Right.
By the way, Jamie Dimon would talk to you about the risks of it. So I don't know. It's interesting because there are people in the banking system who still have their own views of the risks.
But I think the banking system would also like to offer their customers whatever their customers.
Yeah, they want to pay $10 a month for custody, right? They want to be able to do a lot of different things. I mean, this is a great new revenue stream for the banks, if you think about it, Jeff, right? So they can add little add-ons, or it's a way to coax you over to come to the bank. Gone are the days where they would make all these crazy fees on you. Those aren't really there anymore. You're not going to park something and get, 4.5% interest anymore. Those days are gone. You get half percent interest, right? Even if you lock it up in a CD, it's so minuscule these days that you put money into Bitcoin, you're going to make money. I mean, of course, if you compare Bitcoin over XRP over the last year, XRP definitely had a bigger rally, right? But that'll change. That can change over time. Here's the one on the OCC.
Digital assets are firmly ingrained in the financial services landscape.
That's Rodney Hood.
Today, more than 50 million people own cryptocurrency, and hundreds of businesses engage in cryptocurrency and require banking services. National banks and federal savings associations are well positioned to support crypto asset activities from within the federally regulated banking sector. I'm pleased that recently the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency clarified that certain crypto-related activities, including crypto asset custody, holding deposits as reserve backing stablecoins, and using distributed ledger technology and stablecoins for payment activities are all legally permissible. The OCC also confirmed its expectation that banks conducting novel crypto activities do so with appropriate risk management processes in place. This action reduces regulatory burden, encourages responsible innovation, and enables banks to leverage new technology and innovative ways to serve their clients and customers. To learn more, visit occ.gov.
So you just said it. That last bit he said there was the most important part. It allows banks to offer innovation to their customers, also introducing them to a whole new clientele. I saw there's probably going to be other banks, but I saw Citibank was one of the big ones that already announced it, that you'll be able to do that. And also too, it's going to create a lot of, the banks themselves are going to have to hire a third party. They'll hire somebody like a Ripple, custody. There's a bunch of different, about 2-3 big ones out there that can go in there and do the custody for you. And then the banks will figure it out. some kind of a way to be insured or something along those ways, because people can't worry about making a mistake and losing a key. And oops, you know, if it can happen to a guy like Stephen Thomas, who was the former chief tech officer over there for Ripple, and he's, I don't know, it's worth a couple $100 million in Bitcoin because he only had 10 tries and he didn't, you know, this is the thing. It's like, oh yeah, well, I put it on a drive 7 years ago. Where's the drive? I know where the drive is. What about the key? What about the password? What about, right? It can get just complicated, Jeff. So this is a great thing. It's too much for most people.
For mainstream adoption. It's too much for mainstream. And that's why for years we've been talking about which one comes first, to the crypto exchanges, by the banks, to the banks, by the crypto exchanges, or who rolls out which product first. We saw crypto exchanges dabbling in banking, you know, and they started doing all sorts of borrows and things like that, and interest and staking. And so they were kind of dipping their toe in the banking space, you know, where the banks are like, well, we give interest and we lend money, you know, not to the favor of the customer in any way, shape, or form. But what we're starting to witness is that the banks are seeing the speed at which crypto is becoming mainstream and normalized. And this is the moment. They've been on the sidelines trying to pass it, push it off as long as they could. And they have a couple allies. They had Elizabeth Warren and they had Gary Gensler. Those are their allies trying to push this down the road as far as it could go to let them get prepared. Because the one thing is that banks move extremely slowly. They don't just all of a sudden adopt something and it becomes system-wide. Many of them are using older computer platforms that aren't even up to par behind the scenes. You know, they can't upgrade fast enough. So think about all the different regulatory issues and hurdles that a bank is going to have to go through, their internal and external, in order to start moving into a crypto-friendly space. Now they're starting to move in that direction. The first step is allow their clients to buy crypto. How do you custody it? Like you said, they're going to partner. Is it going to be a Ripple that's going to help because they're working with the banks and the financial institutions to move money? So if you can move money, you know, can you custody? Do you work with an Uphold? Do you work with a Coinbase? Do you buy one of these entities? Does one of these big banking partners come in and decide, well, we got to buy a Coinbase now? It's publicly traded. Do they move in somehow? You know, there's all these different elements that are active at this moment. The OCC understanding the direction we have to go. All the different regulatory bodies are seeing it. I think I truly believe, you know, 20, and we talked about this in the previous year, you know, where there was going to be no movement in this space until 2025. 2025 was the year. The caveat was only with the Trump administration.
Yeah, otherwise,
the previous administration, and we would have seen it die the fastest death possible, and it would have been dead right now. There wouldn't have been, you know, oh, they're going to be friendly to it and all that. You know, there were too many people out there that really believe that the leftists, you know, that they somehow believe in decentralization and the freedom to the people and tokenization and all that. No, they believed in centralization, centralized government taking any of the means of the people. You know, there was no, hey, let's try to find a path towards, you know, allowing people to achieve on their own. It's like, no, let's give handouts to everybody and take away from everybody. You know, I mean, it's so crazy. Thank God we're in the space, and you know, at the moment in time that we're in. You know, but it was meant to be. And that's something else that we had said at that point too.
Of course, Mike says his banks are telling them they're waiting on the FDIC. That's what insures right now a bank account up to 250,000. Matt says, wasn't that VeChain price in the old chain before it got revalued? I don't talk about anything from China. I don't invest in Chinese chains, and I don't think about it, so I don't really pay attention to what happens on Chinese chains. Let's see. My bank tells me to quit bouncing checks. Probably a good thing, Mark Smithson. Mel says the next bull run is going to be 8 to 10x what happened in 2017. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's going to go ballistic. Yeah, we're gonna crush that. That bull run's going to look like like very junior compared to what's coming. I wholeheartedly agree with that. It's good observation.
There you go with Legendary. Had to write a check this week because the county only takes checks for property tax. I mean,
You can't even pay it online. That's crazy.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Yeah.
It's so funny. It's like I have to go to my wife to write a check because I haven't had checks for like 12 years now, maybe more. I don't know. I lost count. But people are like, you write a check. I'm like, a check. Yeah. And it's funny. I go to my buddy's house and his phone rings on the wall. And I'm like,
what is that?
You know, I don't know. It's like I'm like, we got rid of our landline back in 2006, 7. I don't know. It's been a long time. Like, what do you need that for? Like, and of course, my dad still has it, and it's louder than hell. It's got like some blaster. It's maybe from the hear it or something, but it's like the whole house rattles, and then you hear you can hear them kick into an answering machine. I'm like, man. I'm like, you have your mobile right next to you. Like, why would you have to get up to go answer the landline? It's a silly thing, but people.
And who's calling on it?
I don't know. Usually it's just some BS thing that I've heard him pick it up and answer, you know, or it's because everybody that calls him direct. So it's just usually, you know, these spam calls, right? I mean, it's not even. Look at this right here. Matt Leroy says, feeling a little old recalling the 2017 crypto stuff, remembering the Bitcoin, the BCH fork that left those that cleaned up with about 4,000 BC. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
That was some crazy times. I mean, you think about that, man. That's a long time. Like 8 years ago.
I can't believe it. I honestly, I can't. I remember like it was like yesterday. It was literally like yesterday getting into
crypto.
That's
a long time ago.
And starting all this stuff. It was 8 years ago.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Hey, Shank. Hey, Scoob. I didn't go to Scooby-Doo. Real like Scooby-Doo. Allowing banks to mingle into crypto. I think insurance/liability will be a big thing. Custody providers will be big initially. Yeah, I tend to agree with that statement right there. Good times, but better times are coming, Matt. That's the thing.
There you go. CCP sucks. That's right.
Right. But the CCP owns it, son. And I stay away from the CCP. So I know the Chinese people are good. I mean, only 80% live poverty level, and they're not even allowed into the cities. They have a social pass. They can't even get into the city, even the outskirts of the city. So people don't realize it. They think, yeah, these big baller cities you see on TV and innovation, that's for the top 15, 20%. And then the top 10%, you know, 5% is a CCP. And this is how it is everywhere. It's always the people are great. The governments screw everything up. That's why I believe that crypto and the decentralization is bringing everything back together. Yeah, VET is VeChain. Yep. Don't look at it. Don't care. I investigated a lot of that stuff and I looked at it, especially a lot of the wallets too. They're all like had ties back to China. So you got to be really careful when we do your homework and be like, oh, sure, it's located in this country. And then if you find it, there's always some string going back to the CCP. I worry about backdoors. I don't particularly care for that. So
UK government's mad. They put solar panels in fields and they block out the sun.
Yeah, because listen, all of the stuff that it's all about control. It's all about fear mongering. They don't really believe it. If they believed it, they wouldn't go. If these leftists really believed the tides were rising, they wouldn't buy these multi-million-dollar homes on the water. If they really believed it, they wouldn't end up doing it. I want to play this clip right here. Here's Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, schooling a CNN host, Abby Phillips.
Then we'll take the
Which one is it? Is it 18? Is it 200? Is it 70? Is it 76? Like, where are we?
Why don't we just pick one situation, focus on that, because the narrative around trade is about justifying tariffs in either direction. Let's just take India, which we know the narrative is going on. They charge 110% tariffs on completely constructed cars going in from America to India. They're saying, let's drop that. Let's go to zero. If that gets achieved, it's just one country. That's a huge win for the United States of America.
IF is doing a lot of work there. And I also would say that's a lot of words that doesn't answer my question.
Win yes or no.
How many?
She just wants to cling to. I mean, you got to listen to this whole interview. This is what's wrong with these people. They just can't shut their mouth for 5 seconds. He just pointed out this would be a massive win. You got 1.3 billion people that live inside of India, and I would have to think that a very small portion, even if it's a tiny micro part of people that buy it, it's a huge win. It's a huge boost for car makers in the U.S.
Deals. Kevin.
It's massive.
I mean,
Massive.
She's asking him how many deals. We're 2 weeks into
how
this.
many deals, Kevin? I mean, I think
So-
that this is really important because he's giving himself 90 days, right? And we're a few weeks into this now, and there has not been not even a one deal, not even a one deal in principle announced. So realistically, if it's as simple as that with India, why not paper it tomorrow?
So there's actually 17 deals that matter. Think about this. A lot of these countries, important to talk about, they don't matter. EU, Britain, which is not part of the EU, Switzerland, okay, Canada, Mexico, India, that's 72% of the pie. I don't care about the rest. I care about Thailand because I have a business there. I got it. But I don't care about the rest because these matter. And then there's the China stack. You got the China stack? That's not just trade. That's theft of IP and all kinds of problems with the World Trade Organization. I love the fact that we're talking about China.
Can't forget
not
about
the
that.
same. But frankly, if he just gets that small stack, that's 72%. Why don't you say, yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay, that's good.
Doesn't it matter that he keeps
They'll
claiming
never-
that there are deals, that there's progress, that there are talks, and a lot of the parties involved are saying, I don't know about that.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
It keeps asking the same question
the narrative
over and over and over.
Why
again.
haven't we heard about it? Because you'll hear about it when it's done. You think they're sitting around? Who makes promises and keeps them? Who basically produces results? It wasn't the Biden administration. They weren't there. Were they looking out for tariffs? Were they looking out for small business? No, man. The regulations were crushing these small companies. It's ridiculous. In California, first of all, in Hawaii, you had the wildfires, right? That was what, a year and a half, 2 years ago? Not one thing's been rebuilt. Why? Regulations, permits, all this garbage. Now in LA too, I think there's been 2 permits that have been issued. 2 permits.
Same thing. Yeah,
So
same issue.
Trump is tearing down all of this crap. And what I love about Kevin O'Leary is he makes a point so succinctly, and he goes, just focus on these countries. That's 72%. I don't care about the other countries except Thailand because he has a business there.
Why doesn't that matter? Okay.
There's no empty
Tariffs
shells
on everybody.
anymore.
20%, 30%, 50%, 145%. How are you okay with that when you are opposed to tariffs?
I'm
opposed to the
I'm
government
opposed to
taking
tariffs.
the
I want
money.
400% on China. I've said that countless times. Here's what I want. Think about this.
I know you're
these
not
leaders
opposed to tariffs. I'm saying you're opposed to taxes, and tariffs are taxes.
Taxes
Things that you say and throw out there that make 0 sense. And Kevin has to rope her in.
are permanent. Tariffs are a negotiating weapon. Why is
Unless you want them to be
every
permanent,
leader
which
of
this
every
president
country in
does.
Europe showing up in Washington every week? They want to cut a deal.
She has no
You don't
clue.
like the fact that in 9 weeks we don't have a deal? No administration's ever tried to cut 60 deals at once. All you need to do is pen one. Just pen one,
big
whether it's
one.
India or EU or Britain, whatever it is, and that becomes the hallmark of all the rest. That's that stack. And then let's settle with China, because that's a different story. And I love the fact that Xi's getting his head squeezed like a teenage pimple right now. I'm good with that.
I think there's a lot of dispute about that.
There's no dispute about
There's
it.
no
That's the best-
dispute whatsoever.
There's 0 dispute about it, except if you're going to be watching CNN. I mean, if you're on CNN, yeah, there's going to be some dispute about it, but anywhere else, nobody really cares. By the way, Scott Jennings, I wanted to show this, Jeb.
So this is
Tata, Tata
This is
Motors.
Tata Motors. This is out of India. Now, I don't know if a Tata Motors made vehicle will be here, but if you own a Jaguar or a Land Rover or a Volvo, you're driving a car from
Owned
a
by Tata,
that's owned by Tata Motors. Tata Motors has very innovative product. They ship all over the world. They are one of the leaders in the space. I want to say about $66 billion. Let's see, it's $165 billion Tata Group, up $444 billion organization, leading global auto manufacturer. They have so many different types of cars. Look at this, 1 million vehicles sold annually. And they're impressive vehicles. I got to drive in one. We took a 7-hour drive from Mumbai to Ahmedabad up through the mountains, and it was like a Land Rover. It was a beautiful truck.
I drove that. My brother-in-law has one in Chile.
They're very
so
cool.
I
Yeah,
drove it.
they're very cool, right?
It's I wouldn't purchase one. I mean, it's a great cheap.
It's not a
China
Land Rover.
vehicle. No, it's not. Well, the Land Rover is much higher standards, but
Oh,
yeah, I would agree with that. It's okay. I mean, look, I mean, there's a car for everybody.
All right, that's India. That's our negotiation.
So look at this.
That's
So
one of the reasons why they want American vehicles.
Taken a couple hours ago. He's at some course, well, some function for the press or whatever. So he shows up. And there's Abby Phillips, and he says dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria, because they're like, because that was Abby Phillips was the one yelling at Kevin O'Leary, but she runs the show that Scott Jennings is always on. She's always hosted it, and they have a panel like usually 6 people. And so then John Deaton said, "What a great pick," right? And then I said that Jennings is a national treasure. And then John Deaton said, he deserves every accolade and every dollar he's paid. He makes watching CNN bearable. So very true about that. No doubt about that.
All right, we got to take a quick commercial break.
Please do.
This is made for you guys. Well, so get ready. Type in Yeti. You guys know that word. You know that drawing's going to be coming up soon, but here we go.
7 clan, 1 legacy. The Blue Tribe. No elders, no kings. A republic of rebels answering only to the wild. They don't follow, they carve the path. Outcast by blood, chosen by fate. From the frozen peaks they rise. When Frosty walks, the world stands still in fear. In awe, the Pathfinders hunt. Unchained, unbroken, unrivaled. Clan Pathfinders, forever. Clan Pathfinders, forever. Badass yet claim yours or be forgotten. Badass Yetis on the chain.
Beautiful. Another banger. Another banger. Wow. These are getting so long. We can probably just play it the next 20 minutes. I can go mix up a drink, get my Guinness, get a Jameson and ginger. Frosty is cold as a cold mofo. He is. He certainly is. It's Frosty the Yeti. There you go. I wish you guys make an animated series. Well, listen, we've got we've got the thoughts and ideas about how to do this animated series, and the AI is catching up big time. So yeah, that's what we'd love to do. Yeah, if it can kind of catch up in the next year or two, we might have something 3D characters running around, animated voices, the whole. It would be a lot of fun. Make an animated
close
series.
To the 3D versions.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty sweet.
So Jeff, I want to talk. Let's get the geopolitics here. So Keir Starmer is a complete asshat. But anyway, he says the people of Ukraine can count on us. And here's the video with him, with a guy pretending to be, I don't know, some military dude. There's Zelensky. And there they are walking around. They're just walking up and down the stairs. They're chatting. And they're, ha, 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 look at us. So Keir Starmer says, you can count on us. Okay, so I said, your own citizens can't even count on you, dude. You throw people in prison for memes. And Jeff, I'm so proud of this meme because I made this meme with the aid of AI. It says breaking. Starmer unveils the Ministry of Meme Control to combat dangerous laughter. And you got Keir Starmer here. Laughter is treason. There's the Ministry of the Meme Control. People are checking their phones. Funny. You got the bobbies in there, like looking at them. You will chuckle only when authorized. But look at this thing. It's just,
man, that's solid.
Look at that. Laughter is treason, dude. The Ministry of Meme Control. Look at that.
I love it. Oh man, look at this.
You will chuckle only when authorized. But this was all made with one prompt, dude. My idea made this prompt. It's amazing, right?
I like it.
Yeah. So there you go. And I can do this. But now, if you, all the people from the UK that are always like, Orange Man bad. I'm like, okay, do me a favor here. Let me send this little meme to you and post it on your social media. Big talker. You're so worried about Trump. Go ahead, post it on your thing and tell Keir Starmer, shove it up your whatever. Let's see what happens. You'll be in prison for 3 years. They won't even come near it. They won't even look at it. It's really weird. Like when it kind of created like this. Like if you look at it from far away, it almost looks he's like a little. He's got like a little Hitler mustache or something. But laughter is treason. I was very proud of that one. It was a good one. I'm like, go ahead. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you all day long. You can post it the best you can.
Who's here? Jim D.
Jim D finally checks in. We're wondering where Jim D was, man. He's probably at that cool jazz bar.
That's right. It's Sunday night.
Sunday night, baby. Sunday night.
Dark sarcasm in the classroom. We don't need no meme control.
We don't need no meme control.
No dark sarcasm.
No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Let's see. I'm trying to put up a. You hate when you can't download the YouTube videos and it's like struggle to still.
He does look like he's pulling his work clothes. Yeah, what are you trying to download?
I want to put this this Nancy Pelosi. She's lost her mind. I don't know. She was out drinking some vodka a little too early in the morning. But look at this. Listen to this.
Good morning, everyone, and I want to thank Lord Poston for.
What the hell? Dude.
For Arcadia Produce for hosting us today.
What?
Nancy, she's ruthless and sly with a dentures.
Oh my God, that's great.
All right. She kicked Joe out with her old friend Chuck. Nancy the Nipper, she don't give a f.
Well, the Nipper has officially outdone herself in this one, Patriots. She showed up at a produce distributor yesterday morning because apparently her supply of fresh fruit for the wet bar at home was all tapped out from her morning festivities. Then she went on and rambled incoherently for over 20 minutes, and you're not going to believe what came out of her mouth. Be sure you hit that like button and subscribe. We put a smile on your face, and let's get on with the show.
Make no mistake, President Blunt's senseless tariffs.
Who the hell is that?
Imagine Ronald Reagan, the great commuter, the largest tax hike.
The great commuter. Ronald Reagan was the great commuter. Tax hike.
My God.
Largest tax hike on American families in history. When he made his first vote for president
Look at her
of
eyes.
the United States as a young person, he voted for Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who overturned the smooth holiday. I just thought I'd throw that part out.
She's a drunk.
Hands off our Medicaid.
Okay.
Oh, now he and then George Herbert Walker Bush on lowering the cost to stand united against his reckless economic policy.
Reckless.
So again, really, even to come to talk about food and food, he starts out. You'll Google it. I won't do the whole speech. You'll Google the flowers, Juana and Manny.
My God, when are you get?
First of all, many of our small business people are from immigrant communities.
Oh no! They all jumped. Did you see?
Such a liar.
Oh my God.
Later. That's okay. From immigrant communities. That's okay. I'll get it later.
Such a liar.
I'll get it later. They all go to get it. What in the world? What the?
Yeah, anyway, Jeff, that was some funny stuff right there, man. I mean, that was some really good.
She's hooked. That was one of the better ones.
That was,
oh my God.
I mean, obviously they cherry picked. I mean, it was a 20-minute speech, but she was just all over the place. I don't know what she was talking about. I don't even know why. I honestly don't even know why she was there. I mean, who knows, you know? But this one, this is the latest one with Trump and Zelensky. Look at this meme right here.
No, quiet, quiet.
Look at, they put Zelensky's face on the baby. Look.
Oh my goodness.
No, don't be rude. Can you give us?
Oh my God.
He's trying to grab the money. This meme's been used for everything.
No, quiet, quiet. No, don't be rude.
That's
Oh
just
my goodness, that's so too much.
That's just fantastic. So Jeff, yesterday, you're not going to believe this, but I sat through. So tomorrow is the election in Canada, right? They're going to either, so the left candidate is Mark Carney and the right conservative candidate is Pierre Poilievre.
Yep.
And I watched Pierre Poilievre's rally and I watched Mark Carney's. And Mark Carney's, dude, I needed someone to revive me. This was the slowest, most boring ass thing. So I went to their accounts and I pulled up the ad that they ran on their account. So let's look at them together. Let's contrast them. So first we're going to play Mark Carney, and this is what he, it's the night before the election, so they're going to get out the message, and this is their last message that they want to get out. So here we go. Let's go with Carney first, and then we'll go with Pierre Poilievre next. Let me hang on a second. This thing just froze up for a second here, and then here we go. Okay, let's do Carney first. Here we go.
No, people are anxious right now. The crisis in the United States doesn't stop at their borders.
Now an imminent threat for Canada's economy.
5% tariffs on all goods. Beginning to feel like 2008.
They can become divided and weak. But this is Canada. And we decide what happens here. Let's choose to be united and strong. Canada strong.
What'd you think of that, Jeff?
When you see some of these things, it's just like, what are we even watching? Like, he has no passion, no belief. What does that even mean? Canada, let's be Canada strong. Like they try to come up with slogans, and he just exudes weakness. There's nothing about him that really has anything strong.
I wouldn't bore you.
You know,
I wouldn't even bore you with this rally, but all he said was, and if you want to know the difference between me and the career politician, I'm not a career politician, but if you're interested in voting for a career politician, vote for the other guy. I was like, dude, that's your message?
Right.
And people, you can hear like a pin drop and people are holding signs, Carney on it. Riveting. Yeah, it was riveting. Now let's take a look at Pierre Poilievre's ad. I just pulled them off their accounts. I didn't cherry pick anything. Here we go. Ready? Are you ready to vote? It says.
Look at it.
Good for change. Vote conservative.
That's all you got to see. It's exciting.
Was like
clear message, very clear.
One of them is a snooze fest. I was like, and I tried. I couldn't get all the way through Carney's. It was too freaking boring. This guy's a ringer on top of it. He didn't even live in Canada. His business is in New York. I mean, he was running the Bank of whatever is it, Great Britain. I mean, it's just the guy's a complete nut job. And I don't know. But here, you want to see what every Mark Carney event sounds like. This gives you an idea of like what I went through last night watching his speech. There you go. That ridiculous hat, dude.
Trump's
I mean, obviously that's just all the us on the speech, but he's just, I mean, these people, if you vote for this guy, and Trump said he supports Mark Carney because he says liberals are easier to deal with. So, and his was against his was all against the United States. If Carney's ad, right? So I don't know, Jeff. It's crazy.
I think it's difficult because they're not voting for one or the other. They're voting for the party.
That's what's liberal or conservative, correct?
In the parliamentary election. So they're voting for the progressive or the Democrat Party or the Conservative Party. So looking up their numbers here. So before they called the election, before the parliament was dissolved, The Liberal Party held 152 seats, and the Conservatives had 120. The Quebecois had 33, and the NDP had 24. Then there's others with unrecognized parties, independents, or they even had some vacant spaces. So it's really, it's going to be interesting to see, because it is going to come down at this point to how are these guys going to vote? How is the population? Are they happy with the liberalism, or do they want conservatism? You know, if they go to the conservatives, obviously, you know, they have the head of their party, and we know who's heading up the Liberal Party. I don't see how they vote liberal in Canada. Are they doing so great up there that they want to vote liberal? You know, or I wonder where most of the votes come from. Probably like Toronto and
Canada's like Massachusetts. Okay, they just vote. They just poll liberal. They didn't like Trudeau. You know, when I was in Montreal a couple of times, I did an unofficial poll. Almost everyone told me they did not like Trudeau.
But they're still going to.
But they voted for him. But they're still going to vote for him.
They still vote.
But the
for
next guy. Meanwhile, Carney was his main financial advisor, and they're totally screwed up. Let's watch this a little bit here. Check this more stuff on Carney here.
Carney just pulled back the curtain on the Liberal plan to crush free speech. And here's why every Canadian should be absolutely alarmed. Do you remember Bill C-63, the Online Harms Act, aka the Online Hate Speech Bill, aka the Free Speech Killer? Well, Mark Carney just made it crystal clear that his Liberal Party will be resurrecting this online censorship bill to tackle harms in the digital Wild West. So even though 85% of all mainstream media sources are subsidized by government funding, and 90% of all news consumed by Canadians comes from a subsidized source, Carney believes Canada needs more regulation to deal with what he considers disinformation and harmful content, because the Liberals also need to control what you can and can't say online. And if you step out of line, well, here's where things get a little crazy.
Sounds familiar, right? Sounds exactly like Great Britain.
Bill C-63 is disguised as a law to protect children. However, when you look under the hood, you will find that the Online Harms Act is the most dangerous piece of authoritarian legislation in modern Canadian history, period. Under this bill, you can be fined up to $50,000 for hate speech by a Liberal-appointed tribunal at the Canadian Human Rights Commission. No jury, no appeal, just appointed political ideologues playing judge, jury, and executioner. They're also reviving Section 13 of the Canadian Human Rights Act, the same Orwellian provision that was scrapped in 2013 for being a censorship tool. It allowed the government to punish people not for what they did, but what they might say that could be considered likely to expose someone to hatred. Likely.
Oh, it's funny about that, Jeff. What was that Tom Cruise movie? You guys remember it? Where he was in the pre-crime unit, remember?
Right. Pre-crime, if you thought about it. They were monitoring.
If you thought about it, they would come arrest you right before you might or might not do that.
Right.
What was it called? Something Day? Resurrection? No, it was Something Day.
No, but I know what you're... I don't... But, I forget the name.
But he'd rush in and like they bring some Minority Report. That was it.
It's not a day at all. You threw me off.
I was thinking of Resurrection Day or something like that. That's a different person, but different actor. Minority Report. Thank you guys.
I was thinking like,
but this is what it is. This is Minority Report. What you might say. Are you kidding me? This is like taxes on unrealized gains. What the hell's wrong with these people? Look at this stuff, Jeff. It's insane.
They did, but what they might say that could be considered likely to expose someone to hatred.
Oh my goodness.
Likely what you might say that could be offensive.
It's crazy that they're
not
okay
proven,
with it.
just maybe. And for this, you will be silenced proactively. The bill creates a digital safety commission, which is a government body with the power to monitor your posts, control platforms, and demand takedowns at will. Think China's internet police, but here in Canada. A new criminal offense called offense motivated by hatred comes with a life sentence. Yes, life in prison for online speech that the government deems hateful. The bill also allows for retroactive indictments, so you better take down those old tweets or leave the country while you still can. And the best part is that they're going to crowdsource complaints. And if someone claims that your words harmed them, they could be awarded up to $25,000 for ratting you out. So now the most unhinged, perpetually offended woke activists can literally make a living off being triggered by your opinions, while you're bankrupted or jailed for sharing opposing views. If Bill C-63 gets revived by Mark Carney and passes through a Liberal government, this is what Canada will look like in the coming years.
But you've alleged to say, speak English. Or was that effect? Speak clearly. Speak clearly.
No,
okay.
the gentleman's partially deaf.
Yeah, he can't speak clearly. Yeah.
So I couldn't even hear him.
No, and that's fine, and that's why we've just come to speak, because potentially someone could perceive that as a hate crime.
Why am I in cuffs? Because there's something he shared, then I shared.
Because someone has been caused, obviously, anxiety based upon your social.
By the way, these police are the biggest pussies in the world, Jeff. You could punch them right. I mean, they wear these goofy outfits and stuff.
God,
I mean,
it is
ridiculous. It reminds me of, like, you know, if you saw a U.S. cop versus one of the whatever they are over there, right? Remember the scene in Indiana Jones where the guy's got the gun, he's
right,
the whip,
the knife,
and pulls out the gun. He just pulls out, and like, there you go. That's what would happen.
So I'm actually being arrested.
Most of them, they never work out. You see, our police here, some of these guys are jacked. You know, I mean, you can tell they, you know, they're working out. You know, they actually care about what they're doing. And you go over here, and these guys, it looks like, you know, they've never seen the inside of a gym a day in their life.
Well, listen, we have mall cops that are more dangerous than this. We have mall cops that aren't even real cops that are way more dangerous.
At the police station.
Right.
Okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made
Look at the
on
size
the
of that camera.
Facebook page.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, consider that this censorship blueprint mirrors the UK's dystopian laws, where thousands are jailed for social media posts every year,
right.
others for protesting with signs that are deemed hateful, and even some for thought crimes. In 2023 alone, over 12,000 people were arrested for what they posted online. That's over 30 arrests per day for tweets, Facebook posts, and even private messages that someone somewhere found offensive. People have been fined, jailed, and fired for things as simple as jokes or political opinions. Others have had non-crime hate incidents added to their permanent records, even when their actions did not constitute a criminal offense, just because someone got offended. In fact, over 250,000 non-crime hate incidents have been recorded in the last 10 years, even against children as young as 9. Police departments now dedicate massive resources to social media patrols. It's estimated that over 60,000 police hours per year are used to monitor people's opinions instead of catching actual criminals.
That's enough, Jeff. I can't.
I can't even take it. You know, it's bad enough.
I can't do anymore. Let's do the drawing. My God, this is it's just ponderous. And you know, it's like everything against Trump and the tariffs, and we got to build Canada. We got great.
And then you
can't
these guys.
And then you want to censor everybody, and you know who they're going to go after? They're not going to go after the liberals. They're going to have to go. This is going to basically jail all the conservatives, right? Holy cow! We got 23 people. Let's go.
Right. Well, before you do it, we got to run this commercial one more time.
God, it'll be another hour, Jeff. Holy
it's
cow!
A minute. It's a whole minute. 1 minute. I used to make them for like 30 seconds, and now they drag on a little bit. But here we go. Let's roll this. Get your Yetis ready. Make sure you type in Yeti. Get your Zaman wallet ready. The song doesn't mention Zaman wallet in this song, but here we go.
Fiction again.
Let's roll it. Here we go.
One legacy. The Blue Tribe. No elders. No kings. A republic of rebels answering only to the wild. They don't follow, they carve the path. Outcast by blood, chosen by fate. From the frozen peaks they rise. When Frosty walks, the world stands still in fear. In awe, the pathfinders hunt. Unchained, unbroken, unrivaled. Clan Pathfinders, forever. Clan Pathfinders, forever. Badass yet claim yours or be forgotten. On the chain.
Frosty. We got a couple of Yetis in there. We had 23. Now we had 28. Sorry, laid in. We better get your Yeti in there, boss.
Frosty.
XRP rocks. So we get your Yeti ready. Let's go. Everybody's ready. They're all geared up.
On too.
Greetings from Belgium. Beautiful.
Late.
Get your Yeti in there. FS.
Man, you came in that late.
Man.
3 o'clock in the morning over there.
Holy cannolis. All right. Here we go. We got 28. You guys ready for this? Let's go.
Let's roll it.
All right. Well, we can't win because we didn't type Yeti.
We didn't type it. We didn't type it once.
All right, guys.
Win. It's rigged.
It'll be really awkward. Then it will be rigged because that's awkward.
That's
Ready?
very awkward.
Let's go. Wait. When I do this, play the Badass Yeti song in the background. It should play.
All right, hang on. Hang on a second.
It seems so weird, like with nothing playing in the
I know,
background.
hang on a second.
All right.
Hang on a minute.
I'm hanging out, Jeff. Ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Who's gonna win? Badass Yetis. Here it comes. Who's it gonna be? Legendary.
Ooh, legendary. Look at that.
Legendary wins. Legendary wins. Beautiful.
Nice.
Rigged.
You know what that means? Rigged.
Let's go. We gotta hear from you, man.
Now the question is he still here?
We're gonna find out. Just need to hear from you, man. See you
Find out in
here.
a second. Legendary.
Yeah. Badass Yetis.
All right.
Yeah, you were close. I hate when you're like the one right before, because for a second you think you got, and then boom, rug pull.
And then
Damn.
rug pull.
He's here.
Thought you were the winner. Thought you were the big winner.
Legendary. Huzzah.
Look at that. Nice.
He's already there. All right, Legendary wins.
Legendary.
Wasn't Legendary saying it was rigged earlier? Or was that my imagination?
I believe so.
Damn.
Legendary thought it was rigged.
All right, it's rigged. Let's choose another one. Choose somebody else.
There it is. Look at that. Boom.
Congrats, Legendary. Beautiful. Rigged pull. Rug pull. It's like, oh, congrats.
I gotta go in. Hang on, I gotta go into the real YouTube. I don't know. I can't copy it from the stream.
I know, it's so weird. Because I know sometimes you want to put a comment somewhere, store it.
Then you gotta go search for it.
Yeah, for some reason you just can't do it. It's so awkward, dude. Badass Yetis. On the chain.
It's taking forever to log in. Here we go.
Like that low in the background like that.
That's cool.
Good work. Good work typing in Yeti and getting lucky to be randomly pulled.
Good work.
Hey, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to play this video real quick. Can we turn off the Badass Yetis in the background?
Yeah, hang on. I got to switch back to that. Been waiting for this YouTube to load up. There we
Don
go.
Lemon, formerly of CNN, who lost his job over there, but he thought he'd just go interview somebody in New York and ask them their thoughts. Then I don't think this went the way he expected, but here we go.
I do.
What do you think of the prices?
I think the Democrats have screwed us all.
The lemon.
The Democrats in New
Of
York?
course. I walked away from the Democrat plantation. I had to. Just because I'm transgender doesn't mean I need to be a Democrat. I hate what the city has become. It used to be beautiful and fabulous.
And?
Now it's shitty and we need Trump 2028.
Hold on. Trump 2028, you think he should run again?
Of course.
But that's not.
Hey, the Democrats can be like, we can get Obama. So you know what? Go along with it. I think.
You want to see an Obama Trump?
Yes.
In 2028?
Yeah.
Who would win?
Trump.
He did not expect that at all, Jeff.
No.
Gosh, it's just
Oh, you know what else we need?
What's
we
up?
need Legendary. Throw in your yeah, we want to DM.
Yeah, we want to know.
We got your thing, but we need your X handle. So we can, and I'm going to transfer it right now. So here we go. Get ready. Because we're transferring this bad boy over to you. It's going to happen here in 3, 2. Got to open up the Zaman app first. Takes me longer to open up the Zaman app than it does to send it. Getting ready to scan it. Boom. Scanned it and sending it. Now it's on its way.
Are you at Legendary? Is that you? No.
There you go. Transfer's been submitted.
No.
Done. You are now the proud owner of Badass Yeti of the Pathfinders. From the blue tribe of the Pathfinder clan. His name is Frosty.
Okay, send it to Jeff. He sent it to you on the chain channel. So if you want to
on the chain.
I can go check it too. Let's see. On the chain notifications.
On the chain.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
On the chain. I'm in on the chain.
I don't see it in there. Do you?
I don't see it. No,
I don't see it either.
I'm in here on the chain.
Oh no, he sent it to yours. Your Jeff on the chain.
Oh,
he sent it to you.
to me on the chain.
So grab it from.
Okay. Oh, there he is. Oh, I already got that. So now
It's your X handle.
I'm following you. Yeah, I got it here.
Okay.
I have to make sure that the badass Yetis are following him.
Badass Yetis
on the chain. Badass Yetis.
Badass Yetis
on the chain. There he is. You're following Badass Yetis. Now we're following you. There we go. There we go.
Put it in there so I can follow it too, Jeff.
Congratulations.
Put it in the private chat there.
Yep.
The URL.
Put it
So
in
I
the
can.
private chat, and then I'm going to say,
So I can follow it too.
congratulations for all the hard work to Legendary at Legendary Dave for winning a Badass Yeti of the Blue Tribe.
Stick it in there, Jeff. Where's the?
Putting in the thing real quick so I don't lose this.
Okay.
Frosty.
Frosty the Yeti. There's the Rusty the Yeti.
Uh-huh. Boom. There we go. Now, put this up here. And look at all this dead downtime we're having while we're sending.
I know. That's
There we go. Boom. Sent. It's now on X. And
I'm just waiting, Jeff, for the
Legendary wins. There you go. Now in the private chat.
The X handle.
Oh, now I lost the X handle. Hang on a second. All right. That's it. Wednesday night, another show.
Your Yeti
Back
is
at
stored. It's on XRP Cafe. Just connect your Zaman wallet and you can go look at it. That's all. Okay, Legend. I see it. Okay.
There you go. It's in the private chat. Sweet. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be back at it again. And Crypto Whelp made it in for the last 5 minutes of the show, which is really great. And we will be at it again here. What is this? Oh, yeah. Another Florida Democrat jumped ship and became a Republican.
Sweet.
That's good and bad. It's good because, we control more seats. Bad because then all of a sudden you have some of these Democrats in the party that you don't know exactly how they're going to vote when it, matters. But it's good. They don't like their party, so they're moving things in the right direction. Top marks. Chad is out. Chip getting ready to wrap this thing up. Be back Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard. Would it be Eastern Standard or Eastern Daylight Time?
Well, that's the other thing Trump's talking about getting rid of.
It's
never changing it again. Like there's,
but it's confusing, Chip, because
leave
everyone still uses like EST, and if you write EDT, it looks weird, and people if someone's gonna say, well, what is EDT?
I just put Eastern Time.
It's right.
If you know where we are in the cycle, you understand where Eastern Time is.
Right.
So
hopefully people know, or they got to look it up.
Thanks OTC. Legendary. Florida locking up illegals. Yeah.
Right.
They're all locking up. And then like, you know what the best part of, I just want to say one last thing before we get out of here, but the best part is like, remember they were like, nobody is above the law. So they arrested these two judges and they're like, oh my God, they arrested judges. And so now everyone from the Trump administration is putting out there, nobody is above the law.
That's right.
You know what? It's a felon. Look, they warned them. Tom Holman said, hey, if you obstruct, if you go ahead and hide, if you have anything to do, it's a felony offense. You will be arrested. You will be thrown in prison, convicted.
What did they think?
They thought he was joking. They thought it was still the Biden administration where everybody comes in illegal. And, I mean, they said it before he actually took office. They put it out there. And meanwhile, the judges are just, one of them is living in the residence, the other one's walking them out the back door so that ICE wouldn't get them. Now you have one of the governors saying he's going to do everything in his power. The illegals don't get arrested. You're going to get arrested next, dude.
Right.
Just make it easy. Take them all out. I mean, this is fantastic.
And that'd be the end of the governor.
That'll be the end of the governor. See you later, stupid. It's a felony offense. See you, stupid.
So, but that's
all right,
it,
guys.
Chip.
That's it. We'll get out of here, guys. See you guys on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'll see Miami time. How about that? Miami or New York time? That way, it's
Miami
easier
time.
to say.
Definitely not New York time. It's Miami time.
See you guys on the next one. Chip and Jeff.
Out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.